Ouran.
And I'm Death, aka Bridget. I have COVID.
Bridget has COVID.
I sound like I smoke a lot of cigarettes. I don't.
It's been so long since we've recorded. I feel
No, it hasn't. It's only been
shy.
a week, but then the computer and the internet ate our recording.
So you
we're so mad.
You're upset.
Last week we recorded in person together for the first time, which is hard. We were like, people are actually going to believe we're friends. It's great. And then apparently there's an issue with Apple Monterey update, that if you record anything over 3 to 4 minutes on your photo booth, which is your camera on Mac, it becomes a corrupted file. We didn't know that. And we tested to make sure everything was good, because we were at our friend's house and we only tested like 2-minute videos. So
because why
everything was
test anything longer than that?
Why would we test a 5-minute video? So we finished a whole like hour and 15-minute recording, only for it to be corrupted. And then I did everything I could to redeem the file. Our friend Honora was helping me, and only like 30 minutes of it could be restored, and I could only restore the audio. The video is super choppy. So that's why this is a week late. And then the next day I caught COVID.
It's especially sad because Bridget gave me all of my birthday presents. And they were so sweet.
You're gonna have to show them off on this, because they were really cool and you had genuine reactions. And
they're scattered all around the house right now. I will do it later. I promise.
We'll do it for Patreons.
But it was like, and there's so many difficult names to say in this episode.
You have to introduce like 12 characters.
I'm so sad. The first thing I said when we couldn't recover the video was, I have to say all those names again, don't I?
Because you meet everyone in my background plus more in one episode. So Lauren has like the most work she's ever had in one episode.
So please forgive me. I'm
and why
anyway,
we didn't have an episode the week before because I was in San Diego and LA. I was showing Lauren, I was going to show you, because I got Lauren this really cute for her birthday, some D&D stickers. And I have a matching one of different ones. So there's like the cat with this teacup and an apron, a little hedgehog. So I didn't want to match your stickers, but I got some.
I love them.
And
they made me so happy.
They're so cute. And then I got this one that's just like awkward animals. And I just bought it mainly because of this sticker that says, okay, thank you anyway. Because if that's not my whole mood, like someone saying no and you're like, okay, thank you anyway, bye. Goodbye.
Thanks, bye. Thank you so much.
I've got some other stickers. Like there's this tiki shop
stickers
that's like makes like Disney themed tiki stickers. They're really freaking cute. I also bought 2 pillowcases from them. One's Haunted Mansion tiki, one is Jungle Cruise tiki. I got a bunch of pins. Showed them all last week. They were really cool. Gelatinous really cat.
Cool.
D&D pin.
Gelatinous cat. I love gelatinous cat.
To-do list.
Soup's cute.
Here, I'll show the gelatinous cat. It's right over here.
Yeah, show us gelatinous cat. I think we need it. I'm sorry.
So sweaty.
You got this. You're doing great.
COVID,
you look great, kid.
I haven't worn a bra in a week.
COVID means no bras.
And if anybody thinks that's hot, it's not. It's literally hot.
It is.
I can't stop sweating.
It is. It's just not.
So here's my little gelatinous cat.
I love gelatinous cat. There it is. There it is.
It's got like tuna and a bird and bones. It's got little ears at the top. Freaking cute. Because I found this shop that's like D&D cat stuff. They're Kiki Doodle and Merkitties. I had one that was a mystery pack, and it was like Constellation Sphinx cats. And this one glows in the dark and it's glittery. It's really cute.
Love it.
I want to get more.
I love Sphinx cats, though. I'm obsessed
so
with them
cool.
a little bit.
This is
just want
from
to hold all of them.
I worked a Nope event, so this is the Nope face. That's when I was in LA for work. Nope, which is a great movie, by the way.
It's pretty good.
NASA had a booth, and so I've got all these pins from Project Artemis with different colored boots, space boots. What else? I got a lot more. I handed most of it to you, though. I got my brother some D&D stuff. Okay, I think that's all that's in this bag. There's a bag that says, Nope.
Nope.
And then it's got Rolling Roadshow. I don't know where I work.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You've been so unnamed so far.
I think that's all the, like, stuff.
It looks like you're turning to hold Tamaki's hand.
I am. This is the
wrong
wrong way.
like, hello.
Wrong way.
It's okay. You were doing better. No, now you're kind of in his face. Almost. This is
Come on,
weird.
hand. Reappear hand.
I don't like it.
Look, there we go.
I don't like it. Oh, y'all also might have noticed that I have a nifty computer background too. And
Lauren
I
has
don't
a
look like crap.
background.
I got a new computer. I hope that it does good things for everyone, and especially me and Bridget. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. You want to see my COVID tests? I've been collecting them. That's the one on 8.4. It was like super positive. That's the one on 8.2, my first one that was like, yeah, kind of positive. And I was like, why am I collecting these? I don't know.
When I was positive, it immediately like turned, and I was like, "Oh no!"
That
I was
was my
looking at
other
it
one.
like a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
Because the first two I took were like just chill. Like they were like definitely like, no, you're fine. And then the third one, I woke up that day and I knew I had COVID just because of how I felt. So I took that test and it immediately drew the second line. And I panicked because it looks like a pregnancy test. And I was like, oh, you idiot. Like, this is not going to affect you. You're fine.
Yeah, mine, the first day I took it, when I was in the midst of all that throwing up and stuff, it wasn't positive. And that next day, it took like a long nap, and I woke up and I was like, my throat's kind of scratchy. It didn't hurt. It was just kind of scratchy. And I took a test, and it was like 30 seconds. Oh, you're positive. And I was like, oh, okay.
No,
yeah.
Not fun.
No. Now, like, I've got my COVID. Here, I'm going to get detailed for y'all, because I had some symptoms that nobody's talked about to me yet. So the first 2 days, I was testing negative. I was throwing up. Had diarrhea like crazy. Explosive gas. Like, nobody talked about that. It was. I scared my cat away. I couldn't trust any gas because I also have explosive diarrhea.
That's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, and when you have horrible gas, I think my mom told me she thought it was because I was throwing up so much and maybe I was like inhaling. I don't know, but I was like stuck in throw up mode. Have you ever done that? I thought I was gonna die.
Yes.
When you're like stuck and you can't breathe back in because your like body is stuck in the puke position.
Yes.
I was panicking because that's why my mom had to come over before we knew I had COVID. Luckily, she doesn't have it. We hazmated her up before she came over because I needed help doing human functions. And I was like, I'm afraid I'm gonna choke on throw up in my sleep. She's like, you're an adult, you would have woken up. And I was like, I don't know. So she had to come over because I had freaked myself out so much. I had violently thrown up and been like stuck and was trying to gasp for air, but kept like getting stuck in the throw up mode. Then finally I wasn't coughing. I didn't have a sore throat, but I was having stomach cramps that like thought I needed to go to the hospital. My stomach cramps were hurting so bad. And then those finally went away. And the next day I had a scratchy throat and kind of had a cough, but it was more like a tickle kind of cough, not like phlegmy. And then the next day it was like, I got hit in the head with like a bad like congestion, cough, and it's not even like a normal cough. It's like you can hear it in your chest. Like it is a respiratory infection for sure. Like, I mean, obviously we all know these things about COVID, but it's different when it actually is happening.
Yeah.
To you, it's like when you read about history, but then you actually go to the place where it took place and then it feels real, like you knew it was real. But so that's what COVID is like to me right now. But like breathing in, I can like hear the rattling in my chest.
Yeah.
am I gonna make this stuff?
And that sticks with you for like a minute. Like mine didn't really go away until like maybe 2 weeks after.
Yeah, it
sucked.
Me and my
and
inhaler
like 2 weeks
like,
after I had gone back to work, I was like, still.
Yeah, I'm really kind of worried about that. I mean, I don't have good luck with respiratory infections, but then fevers, sweats. I've been talking to the Lord for like the past hour, but I just like can't stop sweating. And I had a migraine almost all day today. I've slept most of the day.
The migraine's the worst. That was the worst part for me. I've never had one before until that. And
that's
it was
right.
awful.
You had your first migraine on. I forgot that you had texted me about that. Yeah, I had a migraine today. Like the first day when I was still negative and I was throwing up, I had a headache. I'm sure it's just because that, throwing up is so extensive on your body. Yeah.
And you were probably dehydrated from throwing up.
Today is the first day where my pee wasn't like yellow. It was like somewhat yellow. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm retaining fluids finally. Because for the past 3 days, it's been like Gatorade water.
Yeah.
A little bit of ginger ale, Gatorade water, because I was so dehydrated. It's not even funny. Like I took a hot shower and thought I was gonna pass out because it was like too much for my body to handle. And I was like, I just want to be clean.
I literally had to sit in the shower because I didn't stand up.
I like sat and I was like, I feel disgusting. I'm like sitting there with like poor. I felt like that scene in Baby Mama with Tina Fey.
Yes.
Like, I'm clean. But yeah, so COVID's not fun. We don't know where I got it.
Yeah, I don't know where you got it either. How?
It was like 6 days after I got back from California, but I had tested twice after coming back from California and it was negative. I didn't have any symptoms until Sunday night. So it could have been in just a long incubation period. Then the only other place I went to was we went to our friend's house. Nobody else had symptoms or has gotten it. And then I went to church and nobody else there has symptoms or has gotten it. But, you never know. Because we thought I had food poisoning for like the first 2 days.
Yeah. I thought you had the flu that Rachel and the girls had.
Yeah. We had friends that had flu. So, no, I got a really rowdy strain of COVID. I mean, flu-ovid has been a thing. I haven't tested for the flu. This does feel like the last time I had the flu, but...
Will had nausea too. God, he had all of your symptoms too. It was
nauseous. I think one of the worst, and I don't get nauseous that easily. Like, and even when I do, it's not normally bad unless I'm like
so fast.
I get motion sickness, and that's the only time I get it. But I know what to avoid. But man, I did a Teladoc appointment because I was like, I need help. Like if I these stomach cramps and like I can't. I even was scrolling through Instagram and saw someone post a picture of food and I was like, I'm gonna throw up.
Did they give you Paxlovid?
Yes, I'm on Paxlovid, so everything tastes bitter. And everybody was like worried about that. And I was like, hey, this was my childhood growing up. This is what like taking amoxicillin was like all the time. Like being an allergy kid, ear infection kid. I was like, oh, I'm used to this. It's not bad. Because people were like, I couldn't do it because I couldn't. I was like, oh, my body's already used to that. Word. And my dad taught me a good hack. You eat some hot tamales and that lingers in your mouth instead of Paxlovid, that cinnamon. And I was like, so this is my medicine, hot tamales. It's still a pretty full thing. I just pop a few every once in a while.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah, so that's my update on life. It's a week, like last time we didn't record because you had COVID and we were at a bachelorette party. This summer has been rough on us.
I'm not even going to go into the stuff that's going on with my house. Just know that my ceiling collapsed yesterday. Everyone is fine. I was in my bathroom. They're working on it. That's all I could say. I won't take up too much of your time because I could talk for like an hour about how effed my living situation is at this moment.
It's rough, man.
But instead, I'm going to talk about Ouran High School Host.
Wait, before we do that, remember, we talked about this last week because it was fresh, but you almost died. Or we thought you died, remember?
I forgot. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of physical labor at work. We are redoing a lot of areas. So they had me painting and moving stuff and putting stuff together. So I worked 2 pretty heavy days of that in a row. And then I went home and I fell asleep at like 11-ish. It was the first day that my husband was out of town. I was alone. I was supposed to go to my friend Crystal's the next morning, and I didn't set an alarm because I was off, so I didn't see. I was like, I'll probably wake up at like 9 and then I'll get moving then. So I wake up at like, what did I wake up at like 12:30? Was it 12:30?
No, it was like 2:30.
Okay, it was like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
I was so tired.
You were down for like a whole 12 hours.
I was out, and I wake up to someone knocking on my bedroom window. Oh, and I forgot to say, right before I went to sleep, there were gunshots right outside my house. So I texted my husband, and I was like, hey, there are gunshots outside the house. And then I just passed out because I live in the ghetto, and I'm used to hearing gunshots.
In the ghetto.
In the ghetto. In the ghetto. I just watched that episode too.
Such a great episode of New Girl.
Oh, it's so good. So I passed out for 12 hours, and then some stranger came and knocked on my bedroom window. So I bolt up. I'm getting a phone call from our friend Anthony. So I'm like, is he outside my house? Because he's on this road trip with my husband. Why are they back? Is Will locked out? And so I answer the phone, and I'm like, hello? Like literally that girl with the water bottle. Hello?
All casual. Meanwhile, we've like,
and he's like,
with the beacon.
Hey, buddy. And I was like, oh my God, why are you so aggressive right now? And he's like, we've all been calling you for like 2 hours. And I was like, no, you haven't. My phone hasn't rang once. And that's the weird thing. It didn't ring. My volume was on. Everything was on. And after that phone call, I like went and looked at my like notifications, had no notifications of any calls, but when I checked my call log, there were like 60 phone calls.
We were like, the beacons are lit. Gondor calls for aid.
And so I, of course, I texted Crystal and Bridget and like called my husband, and he was so mad at me.
As he should have been.
I felt so bad.
The last message he got from you was there gunshots. We couldn't get a hold of you for a day.
I just fell asleep, but he was very sweet and was not mean to me because he knows that
it was an understanding,
very burnt out and very tired. And then he told me that when he got off the phone with me, Anthony and Shane were like, wow, y'all handled that so well. Like if we were talking
like
to our significant others, we would have started yelling at this point. And he was like, why? Me and my husband have a very healthy relationship.
Y'all are a couple goals.
Every time he tells me about his bros and like their time together, I just am more and more grateful for the husband that I have. He's a wonderful man. We communicate very well. And we've both worked really hard to get there because it was not always this way. So shout out to William. He is Daddy of the Week. Daddy of the Week.
I forgot we had that.
Actually, I'm going to say that Mason, my friend from work, is Daddy of the Week because not only did he demand a new episode from me today, but he also told me he watched Dear Lion April with his 6-year-old daughter.
Oh. Did they both cry?
That's so cute. She didn't care. Okay, she liked the music and sweet. The cat. She was like, music cat, yeah. And Dad's like, okay.
Don't get attached. He was
sitting there like,
okay. So you want to watch another episode of Music Cat?
Mason, you are also Daddy of the Week. We hope you enjoy Ouran High School Host Club.
You're the best. And your kid can watch this too.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff that goes over the kid's head. There's stuff that goes over the kid's head that is so much fun.
Yeah, it's cute.
Like when they're
like every other cartoon.
Bathing suits. And I was like, whoa. You don't see anything on people, they just pick something up.
The Hatching twins are very fashion forward.
Yeah.
Well, their mom's a fashion designer.
Yeah.
I
love that.
Are you ready to talk about Ouran High School Host Club?
I am, and I also want to say, you know, when we rolled this, I talked a lot of smack about this show, and I am heavily invested into this show. I more than like it now because I'm 8 episodes in, because you know so we're having to re-record this episode. I love this show. Like, I was on Tumblr today looking at it, and don't fight me on Tumblr. I just can't
believe you watched something past me, because I haven't even watched the next 4 episodes yet.
I mean, I've got a lot of downtime. I'm not going anywhere right now.
That's true.
I watched it before my first afternoon nap, because you know there's like 5 of them, because I can't stay conscious for long. But gosh, the show is so great.
Guys, it's just really cute. It's cute and full of dumb.
And it's got great voice actors that Lauren's going to go over. Like, I'm watching in the dub, and the dub is so much fun.
And the sub are both excellent. The first time I watched this was in dub, and I just think they really brought it to life. And it was such a love project that Caitlin Glass and Vic Mignogna really wanted to do, which is just really sweet.
It is. And I think they did really great on translations for the dub, because
they did.
They make it its own thing. I was telling Lauren this is like Totally Spies kind of vibe, and I was a big Totally Spies fan. And even the animation.
Who was your favorite spy?
It changed a lot. I love the red hair one.
Sam.
Yeah. You remember their names? I haven't watched them
Alex,
forever.
Sam, and Clover.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, I never stopped watching
the
cartoons.
Butler, though. The Butler was my favorite.
The thing to understand is everyone like grew out of their cartoon phase except for me. I just kept watching cartoons. Like,
I
way past the point where I should have.
I didn't watch anime. I never got, like, I was a Pokemon person and a Sailor Moon person, and then I didn't pop into the others.
I still actively seek out new cartoons to watch because I just love cartoons so much.
I got really into like the Pixar stop motion crowd, like you name it. And then Don Bluth. I was really into Don Bluth movies, which are really, really depressing to get into. None of Don Bluth movies make you feel good.
No, they don't. They're all super sad. Thumbelina was my favorite movie like ever. And then I had 2 cats when I was a child, named Anya and Dimitri, because I was obsessed with Anastasia, which is like
was so good. I loved. My mom didn't like it because there's a lot of devil stuff in there, but
I was so obsessed with Rasputin. It was disgusting.
Yeah, that song is a
I told you I
banger.
Did my like elementary school book report on Rasputin, right?
Yes, you did. And I was like, I'm very concerned about
I asked my mom if she had pictures, and she said she does. So I just have to
I did mine on Diane Fossey and created a phobia of monkeys and gorillas for myself, because I was like, oh my god.
I respect that. They're terrifying.
I watched Gorillas in the Mist and was like, I want to die. Love Sigourney Weaver though.
None of that for me.
I do not like monkeys. They're too similar to us, but just different enough, but too similar. I don't like it. And that's why Nope really freaked me out. And
monkeys? I was like, I don't like. Oh my god, that was the coolest part of the movie, though.
Like, I thought this was an alien movie. I wasn't ready for it.
It was that scene and the way they flashed back to it, like at the very beginning when he's going over the SNL skit. I was like, I cannot wait for them to tell me what happened with Gordy. I cannot wait. That was great.
That was absolutely just hearing Gordy like eat someone's face off, and I was like. And I was that child that watched that Oprah show with the lady with the chimp that like ripped her face off.
Oh my god!
I watched it.
Oh, I forgot about that. I remember that too.
I was terrified of monkeys. I mean, I already was. My 5th grade, elementary school book report was on Diane Fossey. Like, what is it? Biography day that we all did, like in Texas, and Diane Fossey. Because I don't know why I chose Diane Fossey. I don't know if I chose it. I don't know if I got it signed, but. I remember Rasputin. That was Diane Fossey.
Vividly thinking that Rasputin was a fictional character until I found that book, and I was like, "Is Rasputin real?" And they were like,
"Did you talk about like his sex, like I don't know the word."
No, they wouldn't let me, and they also wouldn't let me go into the details of how he was stabbed 17 times in the back in an icy
and lived.
And he lived, and then he froze to death in the icy puddle they left him in. Which is absolutely insane.
Have you watched the prequel, The King's Man?
No.
They have Rasputin in it, and they like do that scene, and it's great.
Oh
And
my
it's
God.
them and Ralph Fiennes, and I was like, this is fun. I liked
love
that
Ralph Fiennes.
prequel. I love the Kingsman series.
Except fun.
Except for the random sexual things, this last one didn't have it. But that first one, I was like, really? We had to put that in the last 5 seconds of the movie? And then in the second one, it had the
back door.
The second one was the tracker, and I was like, come on. But other than those little
speaking
bits.
of dumb fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
we haven't
sorry.
talked in a while.
We got distracted.
I haven't had human interaction.
I called so we could get this out. And then we just stayed on the phone, and now it's here. I hope y'all are ready for this absolutely derailed episode, y'all. I'm going to read this summary.
Yeah.
For episode 1, starting today, you are a host. I watched it on Netflix. This is your Netflix summary. After Haruhi literally stumbles into the Ouran host club and breaks an expensive vase, the only way she could pay for the damage is to work as a host.
It's great. It's actually a great summary.
It is. It's perfect.
That is what happens. That is what happens.
Whoa.
Here we go. I already hate this intro. Now this no longer holds true 8 episodes later for me.
Did you listen to the Japanese version?
No. I keep walking around, kiss, fall in love. So it's like I already have to refix my notes because this is from like 2 weeks ago. And now I love it.
The lyrics to the English dub are absolutely awful. Like in the most endearing way. It says host or lady, maybe, I don't know. I was like, are you serious? Like that's an actual lyric out of
it's true though.
Dumb version of
it's
that.
True.
And I was like, I cannot.
That's funny. My next note, immediately another dead mom, because Haruhi walks up and is like, oh mom, I miss you. How is it up there? And I'm like, bro, can we not catch a break? Dead parent. I thought Disney loved dead parents. No, anime loves dead parents. Dead or absent parents. Like mysterious.
No, they like dead moms and absent dads.
Looking at you, all of the animes we've ever watched.
I was gonna say, which one?
I mean, My Hero, well, not Dead My Mom, Hero, but
Full Metal Alchemist, Attack on Titan. Not so much JoJo's Bizarre. Well, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, JoJo's
Bizarre Adventure, dead everyone. As in reincarnated.
Dead JoJo. Rewatched. It's been so long. So many things. Fully Cooley, Dead Mom.
Oh yeah,
Gone
with
Mom?
A really bad dad.
Exactly.
Dead dad, kinda at one point.
Real-lived dad.
Yeah.
Slime dad.
Technically, was dead dad. It's confusing.
Slime dad.
Okay. So my next note. Okay, I can see how this is a satire with a lot of rich commoner jokes. So. My other note, I forgot that I like go through all these notes first because I forgot to like summarize the episode. Are the twins in love with each other incestuously? Lauren will cover that because
I will. We'll get
this is hard to re-record things that we've already talked about because I'm like, I don't need to cover this because we already talked about it.
I know.
We don't have a recording of it. So basically, Haruhi walks in and has short hair. So immediately, like you're a boy.
That's how that works.
Yeah, apparently.
When I shaved my head, I gained a penis. Did I not tell you that? Oh, that's how it works. Yeah.
And then you grew it out and it shrunk away.
Yeah, no, see, it kind of falls off as your hair gets longer.
Makes sense.
Like it just kind of retracts.
Ew, don't say retracts.
Just like
I liked falls off better than retracts.
Retracting makes more sense though, because it gets smaller the longer your hair grows.
You're like a Barbie, switch your gender.
Wouldn't that be the dream?
It just made me think of I have brain fog. What's it called? Guillermo del Toro's movie, the creature movie, Creature from Black Lagoon movie. What is it?
Oh, The Shape of Water.
Thank you. When she's explaining the sex and she goes, like, that's what it is. Like, you're a girl or then you can turn into a boy, but then you can close it off and be a girl again. That's gender. Anyway.
Whoa.
Fixed it, science. Solve the problem, politicians. Don't worry. Thank you, Shape of Water.
You're welcome. We will accept our awards and certificates whenever you would like to mail them to us. Thank you. Thank you. Good morrow to you all.
Good morrow. And that's our show.
The end. Watch Ouran High School Host Club. Bye.
Okay, so he's walking around and is trying to find a quiet place to study. There's like 3 libraries. Like, she's at this really rich school. And then she goes into this like music room number 3. See, this is how much I'm watching. And she's like, oh, maybe this is like an abandoned one. And she opens the door and they're like posed like this, basically waiting for someone to open the door. Like, welcome to the host club. And she's like, what? And they're like, oh, are you a new host? And blah, blah, blah. And they just kind of like swarm her. And then she backs up and knocks over this vase and it shatters. And the vase is a lot of money. Lauren will go over that in her notes because I remember that.
It's 8 million yen.
8 million yen.
8 million.
Why do I have to say it like Austin Powers? If anybody
I don't know. 8 million yen.
$1 million.
No.
So
which 8 million yen is not $1 million.
No, it's not. It's still a lot of money.
More on that next. Sorry.
More on that at the 7:00 news. So what was I saying? Oh, knocked over the vase. And they're like, all right, in order to pay the debt back, because that's a lot of money, you can be our like errand boy. I think they call her a dog at first, like errand dog. And she's like, and so she's gonna run these errands to like pay off her debt to pay back that vase because they were gonna auction it off for something to raise money because that's how they make money. Is merch.
They make so much money.
And so then all of a sudden, she's like they have the host club, and so they're always like wooing girls over, and the girls are there, and all the boys are kind of paying more attention to her, and the girl that the main guy, blondie here, Tamaki, gets really jealous that the boys are paying more attention to Haruhi, and my note is this is definitely very gay, which is great. And
he's such a pan king.
This is when I realized that Tamaki is Ed from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Vic Mignogna. So that's in my notes in all caps because I love
You're
Ed.
Like, is this Ed? I was waiting.
And then I learned that Caitlin Glass is Haruhi, who I'm covering up here. Nope. And
right here, look at mine. This is
there we go. That's easier. And so, Winry and Ed together forever. My ship survives another show.
That will never have a season 2.
Oh, that's really mean. Why
it's
did
okay,
you finish on this show?
They finish it in the manga. You can read it. It's very good. I love it.
That's what Cora had to do, and it was really sad because I wanted to watch more.
I know. Well, one day maybe. Someday maybe.
Sure. And so basically, they're like, oh, where am I? Here we go. Y'all are gonna have to bear with me. Okay, so the girl gets jealous, and so she throws Haruhi's stuff out the window, backpack and all these things, and it goes into a little like fountain. And so Haruhi's now down there having to search through the fountain to find her stuff because she needs her wallet. Because if she can't find her wallet, then she can't eat because she's poor. They have like commoners coffee. They make this whole joke about which is Nescafe, which is just instant coffee. I hear the children.
I'm so sorry.
And so Tamaki is like, I'll drink the commoners coffee because Tamaki is obsessed with Haruhi, and it's great. And so I have this note that says, oh, Tamaki isn't as dumb as he seems because he steps into the water to help Haruhi find her wallet and is like, hey, and Haruhi's like, no, you're gonna get wet and you're gonna ruin your outfit or your shoes. And he's like, it's fine, I'm gonna help you find your wallet. You said you can't eat without it. Like, I'm gonna help you. So sweet. What a himbo. But then he realizes, somebody did this to Haruhi, and he does not tolerate bullies. So he roasts. Oh, that's right. They still think Haruhi's a boy. This whole time they think Haruhi's a boy, and then he starts like roasting the girl for being jealous and all this other stuff. And then they're like, "Hey, you're all wet. We have this host uniform for you. It's fine. You can wear it. Go change." And so Haruhi, who they think is a boy, goes in there to go change, and Tamaki opens the dressing room curtain and sees Haruhi in just like this little slip. It's supposed to be like a bra. If you're flat chested, you can wear just like a cami underneath things. Lauren and I do not have that privilege. We've been talking about our dense boobs. We've been singing like the song from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend about dense boobs. Anyway, so Tamaki realizes Haruhi's a girl and is like, oh my gosh. And is like,
I like to imagine that up until this point, Tamaki always thought he was gay. And then he met Haruhi and was like, oh no, I like girls. Like, I like to imagine it's the opposite.
I just feel like Tamaki was just, pan or bi and just was like, I love
He just
love.
loves. He just loves.
As long as he's the doting prince or the king of the host club, he's in.
As the resident pansexual, I dubbed this man pan.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
Here he is. Pansexual. Asexual. Pansexual. Asexual.
And then
interesting. It's me and Dana.
And then incestual.
Incestual.
And then my love. Where's my hand? Nope.
Normal.
Here.
Might be into honey. Not positive.
No.
And then Kyoya,
honey,
if you're rich enough, he'll date you.
Or Kyoya. No, if he has something to gain from you.
He's also a little bit in love with Tamaki. In like a weird way.
My two dark-haired men. No.
And my light-haired men.
I love my two dark-haired men.
I love my ace queen. She's amazing. They are amazing. I don't know. I'm just gonna call Haruhi a they
because then
over decide what they
are. My next note is she still wants to be fussed over by a bunch of girls, and so she's like, "It sounds like fun." And she goes, "Hey, I'm gonna make more money for y'all if I'm a host rather than an errand boy. So why don't you just let me still pretend to be a boy and I'll be a host and we make more money?" And so that's what they agree to do. And Tamaki's slowly falling in love, and that is episode 1.
Here are some fun facts before I start reading 10,000 voice actors because I'm putting it off. So 8 million yen in US currency is about $60,000 and some change, which is still quite a big little ticket.
Yeah.
And the first host club ever opened in Tokyo in 1966. So basically a host club is like a strip club, except it's non-sexual. So like it's really for like rich ladies who wants to, and rich men, because there are hostess clubs as well, who just want to be wined and dined by an attractive person for a couple of hours. We
said it was like an escort service without sex.
Yeah, exactly. And host ages generally range from like 18 to your mid-20s. So they're very normal. They're in all the Persona games. And they're chill.
Just Googled host clubs near me. Don't do it.
No, I will not. I will not. We live in America. The instant coffee that they use in the show is called Hescaf Special Blend, which is a parody of Nescaf. So that's exciting.
Which is great.
And in the manga, Tamaki, all of his like misunderstandings on Haruhi's middle classness come from watching reruns of Ocean, which is like this Japanese drama from the 80s, which is like this big cheesy thing, and it's his favorite thing, and that's why he's so obsessed with commoner stuff. So essentially, Tamaki is Mr. Weasley, and I think we all need to remember that.
Gosh, that's amazing. Tell me, what is the function of a rubber duck?
Honestly, though, Tamaki is Mr. Weasley. Remember this. through the entire thing.
You know,
and
that
will not be able to not love
absolutely
him.
makes sense with the clumsiness, the himboness, but
Yes,
also the
he's
genuine
perfect.
love and protection he has for his family.
He just wants to know everything.
I love
and
the
understand
Weasleys, so this is
everyone.
great.
He's amazing.
And then we have Fred and George in here too. So
we do have Fred and George. Oh no.
Who's Percy though?
Kyoya is Percy. How is that a question? But
Kyoya wouldn't like turn evil.
Percy. Okay, so Haruhi is
Percy.
Ron, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Fred and George.
No, I feel like Tamaki is Ron. Haruhi's Harry.
But Tamaki is Mr. Weasley.
Oh, that's right. You just said that.
She can be Mrs. Weasley.
Yeah.
Or Kyoya can be Mrs. Weasley.
Kyoya is Mrs. Weasley. She has to keep the whole family together.
Then that makes Mori Percy. Choose your poison.
I don't like that. I don't like that either one of my loves are Percy. I hate Percy so much.
Everyone hates Percy, even Fred. That's why he died, to get away from him.
Still too soon.
Anyway, speaking of dying to get away from things, I'm gonna read you all these names.
Poor boy.
So I'm gonna introduce you to pretty much the entire host club and the evil girl from the show. Please be patient with me. This is the second time I've had to struggle through this.
Poor Lauren.
It's a lot. So first we have Haruhi Fujioka, who's the main character. Her English voice actor is Caitlin Glass. We know her. She plays Petra Rao in Attack on Titan. Mina Ashido in My Hero Academia. She plays Damien Desmond in Spy Family, so look out for that in the future. She also and of course Winry Rockbell and Full Metal Alchemist.
I can't believe you were gonna skip over Winry.
You already said it. So I was like, do I need to say it? But then I couldn't.
I love Winry.
I'm aware. Her Japanese voice actor is Maya Sakamoto. She plays Aerith in the Final Fantasy games, which is kind of a gigantic person to be. So that's exciting. And she plays Naranjo in Ranking of Kings, who's a pretty significant, awesome, evil character, and I love it. And she also plays Tamayo in Demon Slayer, who I no longer remember who that is. I think it's the perfume lady.
Hold on. Tamayo. Damn, I spelled it right.
Proud of you.
Yes, perfume lady.
Yes. Oh, so good.
She's great. She's great.
Good. Okay, great.
She's a doctor, if you want to. She's a doctor demon.
I was gonna skip the rest of these, but she also plays Motoko in Ghost in the Shell, who's the main character. And
Scarlett Johansson
forever. So, yeah, she plays Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in the Shell. So that's exciting. Then we have Tamaki Suo, who is my himbo, who I love, Mr. Weasley. His English voice actor is Vic Mignogna. He's done 10 billion million things.
That's episode 1 of our podcast.
Yes. He played, no, I don't think I went over all of Vic's stuff because I wasn't super into voice actors then. I think I did it
You did it eventually.
I did it in Attack on Titan because he plays El Jin. He does play, I just pulled that out of my head and I looked back at my notes and I was like, yes, I'm getting scary good at
El Jin? Who's that?
Eld Jin.
Eld,
he's one of the Levi Squad. He was like the leader of the Levi Squad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He plays Eld.
Second in command, yeah.
For like a minute.
Yeah, Levi Squad does it.
Ouch. Levi Squad does
the Levi
not
Squad.
Make it far. If you're good enough to be on Levi Squad, I'm
good
sorry.
enough to die.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's Levi Squad.
Well, Vic Mignogna not only plays Elf Jin, he also plays Broly in Dragon Ball Z. He plays Ren Matsuoka in Free, Rampo in Bungo Stray Dogs, Nagato in Naruto, and Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. He plays 10,000 other things. If you go back to the Elf Jin episode, which I cannot pull out of my butt right now, I go over the controversy that surrounds Vic Mignogna. You can decide what you want to do with that, but probably for the reason of his controversy, there will never be a season 2 of Ouran High School Host Club.
Which is really sad because Lauren and I discussed that him and Caitlin Glass were the like big people that got this to come to America. And
so
dub.
It's a bummer, but it is what it is. But their Japanese voice actor, who I love, he's also in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Full Metal Alchemist.
So it's
Alchemist.
Mamoru Miyano. Mamoru Miyano. He plays
not Mamoru.
No, Mamoru. He plays Dazai in Bungo Stray Dogs.
Okay.
It might be Mamoru. Mamoru sounds
Mamoru just
Mamoru sounds like mammogram.
Yeah. So I was like, Mamoru?
He plays Dazai in Bungo Stray Dogs. Riku in Kingdom Hearts. Ryuji Sakamoto in Persona 5. Where are you, Ryuji?
Oh, you actually have your figure this time.
He fell over.
Oh.
Ryuji! I love him, I'm sorry. Ryuji in Persona 5. I lost my place. Rin Matsuoka in Free, which is hilarious because they both play Rin Matsuoka. I think that's really, I love when voice actors play the same characters. So they both play Tamaki and they both ply Rin. We love this. How great. He plays Chrollo in Hunter x Hunter, who we will meet eventually. Death the Kid in Soul Eater. And my boy, love of my life, Ling Yao in Full Metal Alchemist.
Ling Yao!
Love Ling Yao. Adore Ling Yao. Then we have Kyoya Otaro. His English voice actor is J. Michael Tatum, who I am a little in love with. I'm in love with him and his husband. J. Michael Tatum plays Erwin Smith.
Before you finish, I just want to say on the IMDb page, I love that J. Michael Tatum's photo looks just like every character he voices. Like he dresses just like this character, scarf, glasses, like
he's
sophisticated,
very much
look.
Typecasted. Which I follow him on TikTok, and he's like super not like that at all. He's like the nicest, like perkiest dude. And
all his headshots match his characters so well. So I
wonder if he did that on purpose. He was like, I want to play this
strategic move. Yeah, if he did.
It definitely worked. He is the glasses guy in pretty much everything. Speaking of, he plays Kinya Ida in My Hero Academia.
Which is like the same character.
Yeah. So. Magma and Dr. Stone. Rei Ryuzaki in Free. He plays Katsuya Honda in Fruits Baskets, who I think is one of the main people. I have not watched Fruits Baskets. I will have to ask Michael.
Yeah.
And Sebastian in Black Butler, who's the main butler. He is the Black Butler. And Mycroft Holmes in Moriarty the Patriot.
This is so weird re-recording this and then also having COVID because I feel like this is like a weird fever dream. Yeah, like have I had this conversation before?
You have. You have. Only
this time a day before COVID.
The names much better. Let's see if we can.
You got practice. You got practice now.
The Japanese voice actor is Masaya Matsukaze, I think. Matsukaze. And he plays Sano in Tokyo Revengers, Colt Grease in Attack on Titan, Misaki in Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Saiko in The Disastrous Life of Saki K, Sina in Food Wars, Zoldyck in Hunter x Hunter, and that's all the important things, so I'm stopping there. And then we have Hikaru Hachin. His English voice actor is Todd Havercorn. He plays Haruka. I was gonna say Harkua. Being dyslexic and reading in Japanese is hard, y'all. I love you. He plays Haruka in Blue Period. I'm just gonna say Haruka if you don't know that name.
Okay.
Sorry.
I finally understood. Remember when every time you said Tom Havercorn, what's his name?
Havercorn.
I was like, it sounds like a Parks and Rec character. It's because Tom Haverford.
Yeah.
I was just like, why does that sound like a part? It's because it almost is. Okay,
Why
continue.
do I know? Tom Havercorn plays Joko in Dragon Ball Z, Edgar Allan Poe in Bungo Stray Dogs, Obito Uchiha in Naruto, and of course, my love, my boy, Ling Yao in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Both
so
the
much Full Metal
Lings!
Alchemist in all of these, by the way.
Because Full Metal has like some of the top tier voice actors.
They do, and for good reason.
It's a
For
great
good
show.
reason.
It's still, I think, my top anime. I mean, Attack on Titan's pretty close to it, but Full Metal, man.
Full Metal.
Neither one of those shows lets my ship find a like happy ending. I mean, Full Metal kind of does, but I don't really get to see it. But yeah. So
ships hurt.
Ships hurt.
Japanese voice actor is Kenichi Suzumura. That feels correct. He plays Obani in Demon Slayer, Snake Boy.
My sad boy.
Who else is important? Zach Fair in Final Fantasy. Takahashi in Fire Force. Demix in Kingdom Hearts. And those are the important people. Everyone else can suck it. No offense.
I can't wait until you get to watch Demon Slayer, all of Demon Slayer, because
I'm excited too. I might just watch it if we'll
do it, because season two is some of the best animation skills I've seen in forever.
Dying to watch it.
It's like, so in the opening song,
my skin hurts. I haven't even heard the opening song yet. I haven't heard anything,
bro. I'm so
dying.
Good. I've watched it in dub and sub because it's just so good. And I'm normally a dub person. Like, I'll watch sub when I have to, but I watch Demon Slayer all in sub, and then I wait for the dub to come out, and then I watch it all in dub because both are perfect, and the animation is just rocking. And it's a movie that's canon, which is great.
I've been watching everything in sub just because the shows made me start watching things in sub more, which is good. Except I still refuse to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in sub when I'm like watching it for my own pleasure, because I think the dub is so bad. Okay,
I was like, where are you going with this?
So there's an episode. I'm sorry. Pause. There's an episode. I'm almost done with Stardust Crusaders, and there's an episode of it where they're facing the Sky's stand. And I know you don't know what a stand is yet. I'm not going to go into it, but like the stand can tell if you're telling the truth or you're lying. So like it goes inside of Jotaro's brain, and instead of just like having him like I don't know, say anything clever, it just goes lie, 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 or yes, 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 no, 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 because it can only say yes and no, and so it just over and over again, and it's awful. It's awful, and it's just Matt Mercer saying yes, yes, yes.
Hey,
no, no.
And you won me at Matt Mercer saying that. That's all I need. Well, I can work a lot.
It's not 1 minute. It's like 6 minutes of this. Just back and forward. It's like an absolute crack monster. I don't understand.
I'm sure there's fanfic just over those 6 minutes because it's Matt Mercer's voice and Matt Mercer's.
I worked myself up so much in that I'm actually tired now. I've been at work all day. I'm so sorry. Karu Kachin is played by Greg Aris, and he plays Zenji in Food Wars, Koji Koda in My Hero Academia, who's the little boy who can speak to animals. He's very useless. I don't care about him. More importantly, he plays Yu Nishinoya in Haikyuu, who's one of my absolute favorite boys. I adore him. And just for me, because this show will never have a season 2 either, and will always break my heart, and I can't find the manga anywhere. I own volume 1. I am convinced that no other volumes of this exist. None. But there's like 19, so I need to find them. If anyone finds them, please tell me. Sorry. He plays Midori in Ahura X Machine Gun. I'm the only one that cares about this, and I don't care.
I just want to say Koji in My Hero has one great scene, and that's when they're fighting President Mike.
You're Michael.
Right.
But that's it.
That's really it. It's the bugs
Like-
swarming him, and he has a freak out.
Poor Michael.
That's the only good time. Presentation
Poor
Michael's bug phobia. And that's
I still haven't had that spoiled for me, by the way.
Lauren.
I don't know how.
You're freaking playing with fire.
I know I'm playing with fire. I know it. I feel like someone died though, and I'm really scared. Did someone die? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Am I going to be upset?
I just need you to read it.
Did Bakugo die? Don't look at me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Anyway.
You're going to make me have an asthma attack. You need to just read it.
Okay.
You said that last week.
I know. I meant to, but I'm tired.
You said that last week pre-COVID.
I have things.
Yeah.
Anyways, Japanese voice actor for Kaoru is Yoshinori, which we love. Yoshinori Fujita. He plays the Green Onion alien in Gantz, and Justin Law in Soul Eater. Yep. Then we have Mitsuki-kun or Honey, and he's Honey
Sweet
Senpai.
Honey.
His English voice actor is someone we also know. It's Lucy Christian. She plays Healing in Ranking of Kings, Ochako Uraka or Uravity in My Hero Academia, Rish in the case study of Vanitas, Nami in One Piece. She plays so many people, it's ridiculous. And The Truth in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Remember we had this argument. It was the truth / wrath.
Well, yeah, I believe you though.
There's multiple times now I've watched and I was like, oh, that's absolutely wrath.
She also plays Leanna Lee in D. Grayman, Trish in Devil May Cry, and Hitomi in Welcome to the NHK, which I will definitely be making you watch at some point.
NHK. Huh.
Japanese voice actor is Ayaka Sato, who plays Curly Hair in Wonder Egg Priority.
We'll learn soon. Yeah.
Michan in Eden of the East, and Ymir in Queen's Blade. Oh, and Mayu in Inuyasha. Then we have Mori Senpai. His English voice actor is Travis
Willingham! Broad, strong jaw from Critical Roles. The Legend of Fox Machina.
He also plays Knuckles in the Sonic video games. Roy Mustang in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Django in Naruto. And Toga Yagari in... Oh my god, I said that without even thinking, and that was correct.
That's great.
Toga Yagari in Vampire Knight, who, if you don't know, is the hot vampire hunter teacher.
Travis Willingham plays the hot brooding person in almost everything. And it's great because he's like an 8-foot tall burly man who is married to Laura Bailey, who is like a 4-foot tall tiny woman. And I love them.
I love that.
It's great.
Japanese voice actor is... Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I had like a hiccup burp.
Got
thing.
the hiccup
I don't even
burps,
know what that was.
It's when it gets like stuck in your throat chest and you're like...
Yeah, it was just like
that.
air trying to escape, but it would not figure out how it wanted to come up. Sorry. Japanese voice actor is Daisuke Kiri, and he played Muto in Mob Psycho. That was the only thing I found that I knew, so I left it there. And then we have Ayo Koji, who is the evil girl, and her English voice actor is Lee Clark. She plays Himiko Toga in My Hero Academia, Megumi in Fruits Basket, Mari in Yuri on Ice, and does anyone else matter? Oh, Gigi in Princess Jellyfish. Oh, she also plays Vanessa in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, who is
the friend.
Hawkeye's friend.
Hawkeye's one friend.
Her one friend. Her Japanese voice actor is Michiko Nea, and she plays Tao Jun in Shaman King 2021. Everyone's least favorite mom, Rei Todoroki in My Hero Academia.
She set a high bar.
Tao Yuki in Eureka 7, and Riza Hawkeye in the original Fullmetal Alchemist, not Brotherhood. And
I actually got in an argument with somebody at church about that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They're like, I don't know if they'd say better. I was like, it's better. It's way better.
Excuse you.
And then we got an argument whether what was better, Korra or Avatar. I was like, they're both great, but I love Korra more. Thank you. And they were like, ugh. And so we had this whole argument, and we both had great points. So I just did the petty, well, I'm sorry you're a sexist. And they were like, okay. I was like, I know that was not an accurate point at all, but I ran out of argument points, and we were both had really good points. And I was just like, fine, you're sexist. You know, like a woman lead.
Dude, I got in the stupidest argument at work the other day with my friend Haley, who I've been lying and telling everyone is my sister because we were both blonde. And one of our vendors was like, are y'all sisters or something? Because the way we interact. And I was like, yeah. And then I started pulling out all this stuff that she told me, like, about her childhood. And she was just like, and this guy was like, what? And I was like, yeah, we don't live together. We have different moms. We share the same dad. And he was like, what? And I'm like, and my mom's great. Her mom sucked. And she was like, yeah, she did. And it was great. So I was like, this guy just was going, and he was like, wow, really? And I was like, no, shut up. We're both blonde. Get over yourself. But I got in a fight with her because my phone started ringing. And she started singing this song from Wonder Pets that goes, the phone is ringing. I'd never heard that before, so really? I did not know what the heck she was talking about. And so she started singing it, and I was like, why should I know this? I'm almost 29. Like, I never watched Wonder Pets. My little brother didn't watch Wonder Pets.
My brother did,
why would
so I know
that? And so she was so upset, and she was like, this is like a thing. This is a culturally significant thing. And I was like, you know what? That's BS, and I'm going to call you out on that. And she was like, why? And I'm like, name me 3 important episodes of Wonder Pets. Because she was trying to convince me I had to watch it. Like,
no, it's horrible. I hated Wonder Pets. My brother loved it. And I was like, bruh, this show is the worst.
And she couldn't name me any episodes. And I was like, okay, here's something else that I think is actually
the puppy that needs to open the door to go potty. It had to teach it how to use a doggy door. I even remember Wonder Pets episodes.
But I was like, okay, name me 3 episodes of SpongeBob. And she could right off the bat. And I was like, that's culturally significant. And so she brought it up to like 5 people up front. And my other friend, Andres, was like, okay. So he sat on it for a little bit. He agreed with me for a second. And then this guy pages me over the intercom to call him, and he was like, I changed my mind. And I was like, are you seriously calling me on the work phone about Wonder Pets? And he was like, yes. It's important. Yeah. Keep in mind, if I ever have any bosses that are watching this, it was a very slow night. We were very uncomfortable. Just so you know. And so he was like, here's why Wonder Pets is culturally significant. And I was like, okay. He goes, that every time the phone rings, I think the phone's ringing. And I was like,
the phone is ringing.
He was like, it might not have episodes that are memorable, but it has jingles and songs that are still relevant to my everyday life.
Wonder Pets, we're on our way to help the baby elephant and save the day. We're not too big and we're not too small.
Deal with this.
But we're together and we're saving them all. See,
but I don't admit defeat often, but that was a very good defeat of me. I was like, I shook his hand. I was like, you just won your debate. Thank you, sir. And then I walked away like a weirdo. Just like everyone in this episode's a weirdo. Here's your Netflix summary for episode 2.
What a transition.
Episode 2 is called The Job of a High School Host. Your Netflix summary is thus. With the formal party right around the corner, Tamaki masterminds a scheme to help Haruhi settle it down with a nice guy once and for all.
It's great.
The end.
Here we go. To pay off her debt, Haruhi will be a host because they'll make more money. But there's going to be a ball happening, as Lauren just explained. And yes. So they're debating on Haruhi being dressed as a girl or being dressed as a boy for this ball. They have her dressed as a girl, and Tamaki is like, swooning over, the thought of Haruhi in a ball gown. But then they realize that Whoa.
What did they realize?
Brain just,
what did they realize?
brain just paused.
What was it?
And then had the loading symbol going. I don't know.
Everyone just checked their phones. Like,
I don't know.
Did this turn off?
What just happened there? And then Tamaki realizes that if Haruhi is dressed like a girl, is your ceiling going down again?
No, it's just
every time you
every once in a while I look up and realize how crooked this wall is.
Oh.
And how much it's like
the bathroom.
Out.
I'm just like, are you okay?
You should be concerned. I'm concerned.
So
there's just a big hole in my bathroom right now.
Can you see like your neighbors like bathroom?
No,
oh, okay.
No, the floor like they fixed.
It was a pipe in between flooring and
stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
it'd be more awkward if you like had to pee and like ask your neighbor to step out
like,
of the bathroom.
Hey, do you got any toilet paper?
Heat.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird. Okay, but then Tamaki realizes that if Haruhi's dressed like a girl, then everybody's gonna want Haruhi, and he's like, no, you have to dress like a boy because Tamaki problems. So Tamaki's girl Kaneko. There you go. What making? Well,
Kanuko. Kaneko. Yes,
I was correct. In my brain. I was thinking Kaneki, like from Greece. So I had to break Kaneki. And Kaneko is in love with the tea set boy, which you know his name.
Do you need his name?
Yeah,
it's Toru.
Toru
Suzushima.
Yeah, in my notes it's T-set boy.
T-set boy, yes.
But they're in different classes. So basically they do this ball and they're trying to get like Haruhi with T-set boy, and she dresses like a girl and goes to him.
Well, they're not trying to do that. They're trying to get Kaneko with the T-set boy, and they're tricking him.
Yeah,
they're tricking them into seeing how much they love each other by using Haruhi as bait.
Yeah. And so you're gonna have to help me on some of these notes because I did not.
I know it's okay.
Last week, and then they're gone.
I've watched the show fully like 25 times. It's okay.
Next week's recording is going to be great because I got really into my notes. But this past week, and then throw COVID on it, it's like I don't know.
Will get into my notes. There we go.
So basically, like Haruhi walks up dressed like a girl, and like 4 of the boys wrote this love letter that is atrocious.
Who wrote it? It was Tamaki. No, it was Kyoya and Haru and Kimikaru, right?
Yeah.
And Honey. I think Honey.
And Honey, yes, Honey like drew the hearts at the end. And so
bad.
Those 4 wrote it, and it's like
deranged.
If a 12-year-old tried to write a love letter fanfic, and it's just so bad.
It's like, I super love you, okay?
Love, heart, XO, and like it's so bad.
Like the exact opposite of Haruhi.
And it's like they tried really hard, and they like give credit and like little pop-ups on the episode. It's so funny.
They were very proud.
So T-set boy, what's his name?
Toru.
Toru. So the Toru's like, you're nothing like your letter, because the letter's like psycho stalker.
Crazy.
The letter is like a character we'll meet in another episode, Renge. That's what the letter is like. But then he's like, so Haruhi's kind of like, I like you. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, I can't like you. My heart belongs to someone else, but I'm afraid we'll never be together. And she's like, well, why not? And so he explains that it's Kaneko and they grew up together. Like, it's really sweet. They have this sweet little flashback of them like talking through a little tea tray.
They're so
set.
cute.
And he's like, I'm going to marry you. And she's like, okay. And they're so sweet.
They're so cute.
Basically, in the middle of this conversation, Kanako opens the door and sees them talking, and she's like, oh, and thinking they have a thing. So she runs off. So Taru runs after her and grabs her and is like, no, it's not what you think. And it says he likes her. And then all of a sudden these spotlights come on because they're in this courtyard. And they're like, oh, now it's time for the waltz. And so they say they have to waltz together. And it's really sweet how they kind of like set them up on this little surprise date. And then they what is the title they're doing, like, for that they crown Haruhi? There's like some title.
I don't know. I don't think they gave her a title. They definitely gave Kanako a title. She's like the princess of the ball.
Yeah, the princess of the ball.
And she was supposed to get a kiss from the king. Yeah, the twins trying to mess with the king.
The twins trying. They said. Yeah, it's supposed to be Tamaki is supposed to be the king, and the twins were like, you said you like a little mystery and mischievousness, and so to trick Tamaki, they make Haruhi the king, and so the king has to kiss the queen, and she's like, maybe this is going a little too far, and they're like, it's just on the cheek, and she's like, oh, okay. So she goes over there to do that, and Tara's like, it's just a kiss on the cheek, it's fine, we know we like each other because he's a mature man. Nice. Yeah. And so then she's walking over there. Tamaki freaks out and goes to grab Haruhi, but then trips and then accidentally shoves Haruhi into kissing Kanako on the lips. And that is Haruhi's very first kiss. And she's like, oh.
And she was into it.
Oh. Yeah.
And so cute. They both just blushed and were like.
It made me laugh so hard. And that's how the episode ends, with them together. And then Haruhi's first kiss. And then my next note was, I want to go to a tea party.
Just a sweet, simple episode. I would love to have an Ouran High School Host Club themed tea party.
It would be so fun.
Right, though? Sorry, I got excited.
Hey, your birthday's coming up soon, so.
My birthday is coming up soon. I'm going to be 29. I'm sad about it. I don't want to.
Oh, don't even.
Hey, I'm allowed to have my feelings about 29. Just because you hit it before I do does not make it less valid.
30.
And that's great for you. Great for you. I get to have my feelings about 29. Because Will did this to me too, and I told him to shut up, so I have to do it to you too. And I love you, but my feelings are valid.
Your feelings are valid, but
thank you.
My 20s. All right.
Anyway, Kanako's voice actors. Our English voice actor is Laura Bailey. What? Did we just talk about Laura Bailey?
Travis Willingham's wife, aka Maury's wife in real life.
She's played. What has she played? I just lost my place.
She played
Toru Honda in Fruits Basket, Vexalia in The Legend of Vox Machina,
Critical Role,
Catherine in the Catherine video games, Sandra Uchiha in Boruto, and Kusha Uzumaki in Naruto.
Laura Bailey is one of the best. My brother and I just had a very long conversation about Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham because I was telling him about Ouran High School Host Club.
You gonna watch it?
Yeah, probably not. He's so behind on everything because he's been working at camp all summer. But we agreed that they're probably some of the best voice actors out there. Like Laura Bailey is one of the most she has a ton of credits to her name.
So many. It was so hard to pick these out.
She's in video games. She is in shows. But she's always a really great character. And you can never quite tell that it's her because she's so good at transforming her voice. But she is one of the reasons I am absolutely obsessed with Critical Role. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's a D&D podcast.
I'm pretty sure everyone who listens to this now knows what that is.
Sorry. It's my brother's fault and Ryan's fault. But I always want people to listen to Critical Role now because there's so many anime voice actors, but you get to watch them really stretch their theater and acting bone and see that they're more than just voices, because Laura Bailey gets so into her characters. Like, she has made me ugly sob in Critical. I'm listening to just people playing D&D, and she is so good at getting into role playing and her characters that I just there's this whole dragon arc that just happened, and one of her character and her twin brother, it's Vex and Vax. They're half elves. And their mother was killed by a dragon. And so this dragon conclave called the Chroma Conclave, because it's the chromatic colors of dragons, just attacked the city they're in. And their backstory is their mom was killed by a dragon. I think I just said that. COVID. Okay. It's like, wait. But there's this whole moment where Liam O'Brien, who is a great voice actor also, but he produces a bunch of anime and voice acting. He directs them. That's how they all met. But they made me cry because they just kind of riff, and Matt Mercer lets them just go into character, because Matt Mercer is the best world builder. And they talk about how, like, is this how mom felt when she was dying? And like, it's just, oh my God, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham. And I just, if you love anime, if you love good stories, and you love listening to stuff, like, we all love voice actors because obviously we talk about it all the time.
What?
But Critical Role, like, Lauren, this is my plea to you. Critical Role is so good, and you never run out of episodes because they're like 4 hours long. It just goes
on forever. I know. I will get into it. I feel myself becoming more intense about it, especially now that I'm feeling the DM needs. Like, I started writing a campaign. It's been so long since I've written the campaign, but I had this idea and I was like, I need to get this out of my body before it just...
And I learned how to play D&D really a lot better because I listened to them playing so much. And you can hear some of them are new players in this game, but they're just really great at storytelling. So you can hear Matt Mercer explaining rules to them as they go on. And sometimes I'm a little off when learning rules because they started recording the show when they're like levels 8 or something. So I'm like, oh, I rolled this dice. And Ryan's like, no, you're level 1. You don't roll that dice yet. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I understand all the basis of rules now because it's just so integrated because of this show. And it's also really freaking funny. I have had to pause the podcast because I laughed so hard at some things. Like, they use spells wrong, and Matt Mercer's like, you didn't read it, so you said it, and we're gonna do it. And so they get like transformed into flying cows at one point because they're wanting to like interview these cows to see if they've seen a dragon, but they realize cows don't speak English, and just because they change their form doesn't mean they speak cow. So now they're just these freaking cows out in a field. You can't talk to other cows, and it's the most funny. They're like, it's camouflage. It's like an hour and a half episode of just ridiculous things that they didn't read the rules before casting spells.
The stupidest thing I've ever heard, in a great way.
It's so funny. Okay, that's my plea for Critical Role. We're done. Sorry, Laura Bailey,
Japanese voice actor, is Natsuko Kawatani. They apparently didn't have anyone important because I just wrote meh. And then we have Toru. His English voice actor is Eric Vale. He plays Trunks in Dragon Ball Z. And Tekito in Life Lessons with Uramachi Onisan. I plays Tomura Shigaraki in My Hero Academia. Vince Kanji in One Piece. Arthur Boyle. I didn't write down what that is, where they're from. Arthur Boyle. Arthur Boyle is in Seven Deadly Sins.
Arthur Boyle. Fire Force.
Thank you. And Yuko Soma in Fruits Baskets. Phoenix Wright in Ace Attorney. And those are all the important ones. I don't care about the rest of them.
Do you think that the people that don't have credits are like just a producer and they're like, hey, can you read this? Because that's what I always feel like they do. It's somebody that's already in the booth and they're like, hey, can you just read this?
I mean, probably, to be honest, especially for a lot of the voice, like the background character roles. Did I tell you that Will's uncle did background voices for One Piece?
And I'm jealous.
He just had a friend who was over at Funimation. He's like, we need background character voices.
We're so close to Funimation, it's not fair. Like all these voice actors like live in
sponsor us. We'll watch all of your crap. I swear.
Funimation, just hire us. I'm good at voice acting. Excellent. I just don't have credits.
I can do projection.
Hey, you can animate, dog. You always forget that. You're a really great drawer, and you have credits.
Oh, I do have credits. Weird.
I
do forget about that. I don't know.
On a Pixar film, dog.
I couldn't animate though. I could only doodle. I doodled. but I am a credited doodler.
If you wanted to draw and take up animation, you totally could. You totally could. That's what I almost said was you totally could.
Working in animation as an animator. If I were to draw, I would be a comic book artist.
Well, then be a storyboard artist.
Or a mangaka.
Because if you're great at doodling, storyboard artist, dog, that's a huge full-time job, and that's paid doodling.
That was the job that I almost did, but it's not.
Let's get you out of Henry Earl Butt's store, and let's get you into storyboarding.
Well, I'm gonna go back to school to be a stenographer, so that's what I'm working on.
Well, let's do part-time storyboarding while you got free time.
I don't have free time. I'm about to have a full-time job in full-time school. What are you talking about? What is free time? Anyway, we'll talk about it. I need to finish these voice actors. Oh my gosh. And the Japanese voice actor for Toro is Hideaki Tasuka, and they're also a mech because they had no credits. This is apparently where I felt appropriate to tell you why the twins are so gay for each other. So they're doing it to play it up for the girls because of the girls' reaction. But in old Japanese myth, it states that two star-crossed lovers who commit suicide will likely be reincarnated as twins. So they're star-crossed lovers. It's a big anime thing, a big manga thing. It doesn't matter if the twins are both boys, both girls, boy, girl. They always have like a weird tension. It's true. When we watch Yuri on Ice, you will see what I mean. It's just
just the next 4 episodes alone.
Honestly, though,
there's a whole episode about the twins that is like, I think I wrote some quotes down and I was like, okay.
But that's all I had. I'll give you episode 3's Netflix summary, which is Beware the Physical Exam. With Ouran Academy's physical exam threatening to expose Haruhi's secret, Tamaki is forced to use diversionary tactics.
And that's a great summary.
And that's it. That's literally it.
Episode 3, my first note, the twins being gay again. And not just being gay, they're being gay with each other. It's ancestrally gay.
It's only with each other. They're not gay for anyone else.
No, they are. Haruhi sometimes.
Yeah, but like they know she's
more
a girl.
Just to annoy Tamaki though. That's true.
Yeah, they just do it for funsies.
Yeah, but man,
which makes me love them more. Ugh, I adore hate them.
Kiyoya is my fave right now, which is kind of not true anymore. There was one episode that kind of turned me off about Kiyoya. Yeah,
I bet. I know what episode.
That beach episode, I was like, "Whoa!" got really
excuse
got
you.
Really upset, and I don't think it's what she said it was. She's like, "I'm not worried," and I was like, "I think you should have been.
Worried.
I think you should have been."
I just think I'm in danger.
I was like, I don't think that was a joke. I don't think that was.
I don't think that was a joke. I think
that was real.
Yeah, I agree.
And now I'm a little upset about it because I really liked Kiyoya, and now I'm like,
I know I couldn't. I was like trying real hard not to be like,
was so real rapey. And of course, that's one of these episodes. That's the last episode I watched too, and I was like, all right, so there's just Mori.
Yeah,
Mori was a prince to her, like carried her around.
Can fall in love with Tamaki.
I already like Tamaki, but Mori, excellent. I just love Mori. Anyway,
respect.
Okay. And then they really like to throw the term daddy around. Because
mommy.
And because this is the role I wrote down his quote because I found it again today, and it's so Tamaki says, "Mom, Haruhi's using foul language," and Hikaru goes, "Mom being," and then Kiyoya goes, "Position wise, probably me." And it's true. He yells "Mom" at Kiyoya, and that's like my favorite thing. And
I love that he says that, even though the episode before Tamaki straight up says "Mommy," and he goes, Yes. Daddy. Like, excuse you?
There's another episode where they go, Mom, Dad, and then Kiyoya goes, why do people always make me be married to you? It's funny. Not the fact that they're like mom or dad, it's just the fact that they're married. And then in this episode, one of my favorite quotes, Kiyoya goes, for special reasons, Haruhi has to conceal her gender. And then a pop-up box on the screen goes, special reasons equals debt. That's the only reason.
Honestly, though.
This show is so funny.
It's hilarious.
In the first episode, the arrow pointing at the vase the whole time, I was
you're just like, what the heck?
What is going
What
on?
is that?
And then the vase falls. I was like, that's great. Okay. So physical exams are the day after tomorrow. So they're worried that Haruhi's gender is going to get revealed. Tamaki kind of is like, what? Let's get Haruhi to be a girl again. Yeah. And then, because he's really jealous that the twins are in the same grade as Haruhi. So they get to spend same class. So they get to spend all the time together, while Tamaki only gets like after hours and club hours with her. But then Tamaki is like, no, wait. No, you have to stay a boy, because then if you're a girl, everybody else is going to want to spend more time with you. And I don't want more people to fall in love with you. And so
she can't be a host. So he won't get like any time with her at all.
He'd be a hostess. And so then it would ruin his like prowess with all the other girls if he has to. Yeah.
Would be awful.
So
my gosh.
They have a really fun moment of breaking the fourth wall. And they say something like, last episode's party. That made me laugh really hard, because they don't break the fourth wall too often, other than like the
but when they do, it's screen. Really good.
Yeah, and so someone's
it's always something good.
Yeah, someone's dialogue's just like, last episode's party. I thought that was...
There's like one later where like they asked someone a question, they're like, I wasn't here in the last episode. Why are you asking me? And it was so funny.
This is when I make my horrible note for you. That Kiyoya sounds like Tina from Bob's Burgers. And I still stand by it. I watched those 4 episodes today.
But it's upsetting.
The way he does that voice, it sounds like
J.
Tina.
Michael Tatum, I'm so sorry for my friend.
I'm not. Only Tina's like my favorite. I love Tina.
Only in me. She doesn't mean it. She doesn't mean it, baby. I'm sorry.
Tina puts her bra on one boob at a time like everybody else.
I really want to hear J. Michael Tatum do Tina now, like so badly. Hey, will you make my day and do Tina, J. Michael Tatum, please? If you hear me, I follow you on TikTok.
It's just like our 3 listeners.
I know, but I'm we try so hard.
We do.
We try so hard, and I just want people to like us. I'm a Leo. I need attention. I'm Tamaki. Oh my God.
I'm a Virgo. I don't care what you think, but secretly I do.
I need attention, and I need everyone to love me all the time.
You've died from lack of attention.
I have died from lack of attention.
I sent Lauren a postcard the day we thought she died with it, because I subscribed to a Patreon for an artist, Simkey, and now you know my struggle.
No.
You have to put it in front of your face. Oh, never mind. There.
Ah, there it is.
You've died from lack of attention. Press spacebar to continue. So if you
said,
Simkey,
hey, thanks for not dying. It was great.
Simkey, they are an awesome person. If you've ever seen those funny raccoon comics, Simkey does them, and I follow their Patreon, and I get little fun things like that. So the twins are now, so they have to do this physical exam, and they're like prepping. They have this whole plan, basically, and Tamaki's really kind of rude to someone. He's like, y'all are just what did they say? Homosexual extras?
The homosexual supporting cast.
Supporting cast.
Yeah.
And is like, so no, I will be the lead. Comes up with this whole plan, and Kiyoya is like, oh, I'm just supporting cast. Not mad about being called homosexual. Mad that he's a supporting cast. And I was like, rightfully so. And so he's like, fine, do your plan. And lets Tamaki come up with this atrocious plan that's absolutely going to backfire. And then, so they're getting ready for the physical exam, and Haruhi's like, so is this like, what is y'all's physical exams like? And they're like, why would it be any different just because we're rich? And they open the door, and it's absolutely different. It's like private doctors for every single person. It's ridiculous. Because it's Kiyoya's family's like hospital, like staff, because Kiyoya's family, it's a hospital and a resort.
They have lots of things, Kiyoya's family. It's
and
like
a private
police
force.
Thing.
It's
they
always
have lots of stuff.
It's always for the health of the people. But the way they explained that made me laugh so hard. And so they have all these private nurses, and so Tamaki, they get ready, and Tamaki now dresses up as Haruhi, and so they go behind this curtain, and then he opens the curtain and has the shirt off, and it's like, it's me, Haruhi, and they're all like, is that just Tamaki in a wig? And nobody believes it, and he is thoroughly embarrassed. Haruhi's really mad because, like, what are you doing? This is stupid. And the twins are like, I can't believe you thought that was gonna work. And then Kyoya's like, haha, that's what you get for calling me a supporting candidate. He's like, because Tamaki gets mad and is like, if y'all knew it wasn't gonna work, why'd you let me do it? And he's like,
which brings around possibly my favorite line of this entire show, with a bunch of girls just standing around Tamaki as he's slowly turning into dust, and one of them goes, Tamaki is eroding away, and the other one goes, it's amazing.
The background character ad-libs or like little lines are so funny.
It's so good.
The little pop-ups in this show, it's great. And then the twins are shirtless on this platform, like, we don't need a cover up, we don't need privacy. And they start tickling and say some line about toying with my body while half naked. And I was like,
yeah, it's
so
awkward.
This is also when I realized Travis Willingham was Maury, because Maury doesn't have a lot of lines.
No,
he's a strong silent type. And I go,
like,
it's
yes.
Roy Mustang / Travis Willingham. So I'm freaking out in my notes right now. But so Kyoya goes, hey, I actually have a plan. Haruhi, I have a private doctor. I've paid her. She knows the whole deal. You're going to go over there and she's going to give you your physical exam. While she goes over there to do that, one of the girls is like, a pervert! There's a pervert! And they're like, what? And they're like, this man grabbed me. And they're like, oh no. And they're like, well, where? She was like, I thought he was a doctor because he had a doctor's coat on. And they're like, well, where'd he go? And they're like, he ran that way. And it was like towards where Haruhi is for her private exam. So they don't find out that Haruhi's a girl. And they're like, oh no. And so all of the host club runs over there. And as Haruhi's like getting ready to undress, she's in her slip. The boys bust in and like grab the guy, and they all like throw their shirts on Haruhi to cloak her, and it's really sweet. And they all start quoting the Ouran High School Host Club rules about
so
like
lame and
about
so
like
cute.
being a gentleman, taking care of it. But you see him like big brother her, and it's very sweet. Well, Tamaki is more like I love you, but everybody else kind of has the brother vibes because the twins admit that they don't like her.
I don't know. I think they're all a little bit in love with Haruhi. Yeah, you'll see. I mean, think they're all a little bit.
I just watched that beach scene, and so watching them like beat up people, so great. We'll talk about it next week. I love that.
I am so excited to watch that episode. I cannot tell you.
I'm really my notes keep saying I want crab. I want seafood like the whole time.
No, I've never had crab. I've never had crab. I've had lobster. I've never had crab.
How have you had lobster but not crab?
Crabs scare me. I don't like the way that their feet look. It freaks me out. I don't want to touch it.
So tasty.
I don't want to touch it. I've had imitation crab.
It's not the same. They don't taste anything like.
But I
They're
don't.
Great, but they don't.
If someone would crack the crab for me,
I will do that.
I will partake. I don't want to touch it.
Next time I'm in San Antonio, we'll go to LA Crawfish and get some crab legs and shrimp.
I've also never had crawfish because same reason. I don't want to touch it. It's scary.
I will shell crawfish for you because it's so good.
You're so sweet.
I also love to eat the brains of crawfish. I know that sounds gross, but
no, thank you.
I don't know what their brain juices are made of, but they're tasty.
My little sister, and maybe this is why I'm terrified of crawfish. I've watched my little sister guzzle the brain of so many freaking crawfish. It's her favorite thing. She wants it every year on her birthday.
So do I. It's great.
And she just...
I used to not like it as a kid, and
then
I had it, and it was like, this is a game changer.
I hate it so much.
Okay, so they quote the rules of Ouran High School, which I said is like Team Rocket.
It was like Team Rocket, yeah.
I start saying the Team Rocket spiel.
Protect the world from devastation.
And so they find out this guy is actually not a pervert. He's looking for his daughter, and it's really weird. It was a weird explanation, but okay. But he was supposed to be at Ouran Public High School, and he's at the Ouran Private School. And so they're not a pervert. Everything gets done, and then it ends up being fine. And my last note for this episode was wrath is honey. LOL. Honey yells something, and I realized, oh, I know that voice. I think Honey does something devious, and then I got the hang of it. All right, that was episode 3.
So I got into like this thing in my head watching this episode where I was wondering how they paid for things, and as soon as I realized that I needed to know how they paid for things, Kyoya answered it for me. They sell merch, like literally. Yeah, that's what they do.
They ask, "Well, how do you have all this money?" He's like, "Well, we sell merch." Yeah.
He like takes sneaky pictures of them and photoshops them and sells it to ladies, and yeah, and they also have an amount of funding from the school, which I'm sure is actually an absurd amount of funding since they're crazy rich. So from the last episode, Haruhi's debt was cut by a third because she went to the ball, and they told her that if she went and danced, then they would cut her debt by a third. So now we are down to 5,333,332 yen, which equals about 40,000 yen.
I love how it goes up and down so much in the show.
It really does. It never levels out. I don't remember reading the manga if she ever pays off her debt. I need to remember that.
I want to read this manga so bad.
I want to own this manga so badly. I have asked and asked and asked for the box set, and no one has ever bought. It's like not something I can justify buying for myself, you know, because I'm
How much
frugal.
is it? I know,
it's
same.
Not super bad. I want to say it's
if
like
it's a box set,
$200.
Oh, I can't ever do it either.
But like, I can't justify buying it for me. But anytime
128 paperback on Amazon. That's not horrible.
It's not horrible, but I still can't justify buying it for myself. I just can't. Maybe at some point, but I love it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite mangas I've ever read. It just makes my heart so happy and full and lovely. Anyway, one of the girls, they tell her that she lost 2 kilos. The kilos are around 5 pounds, and I just wanted you to know that.
Oh yeah, she's like, I did. It's like so sweet.
They're like,
you know that they probably lied too, but
they totally did. But it was
like a sweet moment because you know that's such a thing for girls. I hate that it's such a thing for girls, but that's what society has made us.
But it is. I mean, society has wronged us in so many ways, and this would be a very, very, very long podcast if I went into those right now, so I'm not going to. We can do that on our next one when we're not as deranged.
Yeah, this is already like a 2-hour episode because we haven't seen each other.
I know. You know what? I'm not sorry. I'm having a good time. All 3 of us, and anyway, embrace the content. So the only voice I have is for Dr. Yuba, who is the pervert. His English voice actor is Chuck Huber, who plays Koagiri in My Hero Academia. Lamplas in That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Who did he play in My Hero? Kurogiri, you said?
Yeah,
Kurogiri. Okay.
Android 17 in Dragon Ball Z. Dr. Frankenstein from Soul Eater. And of course, the piece de resistance, Petra Ralph's father in Attack on Titan. I told you I would come back to it eventually. I told you, and here it is.
I'm still upset about his little talk to Levi and then Levi's face of just pure heartbreak because Levi and Petra were a thing, and it's upsetting.
It's sad.
Oh, it's the worst death. And I can't believe if you go to the Japanese theme park, they have it there.
I can believe that. They're evil.
So cruel. And if anybody wants to give me that Levi popcorn box, that still is an offer I will take.
I just want a picture of y'all thumbs upping next to her dead body. That's what I want. So please send that as well.
Hey, I can fly now, so we should go one day. Okay, go ahead.
Maybe.
When there's not like a pandemic killing us.
Yes. Japanese voice actor is Kosuke Naguro, and I wrote meh, so they had nothing available for me. And here's your episode 4 Netflix summary. Renge, who is obsessed with dating sims, declares herself the club's new manager, and her first order of business is to give each host a dark side, quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
It was in quotations, so I had to do quotations.
I always say quote unquote, and I know it's quote unquote, but
quote unquote. I always say quote unquote too.
That's what I always say.
What is wrong with us? I hate this.
Did I just ruin that for you?
This.
I'm so
I hate
sorry.
that you've done this to me.
It's quote
Why?
unquote, but I always say quote unquote. Anyway, here we go. The girl from Paris, aka Renge, basically plays Sims all day long. And the main guy looks like sweet Kiyoya in the game.
Sweet.
At this point, he is still sweet.
No, he's always a jerk.
Whoa. I don't know what happens in episode 8 yet.
But he's just always a jerk.
No, I liked him. But so she wants to marry him, and she flies off to Paris to go to Ouran, and then marry him. So twins being twins. And I said the girl's voice is very familiar, and she absolutely roasts Tamaki. And then Lauren says, "You do know her." The last time we talked about it, and yet again, because of COVID, I can't remember who she is again.
Yes, that's okay. You're gonna be mad in a good way.
It's Sue. I remembered now.
You're right.
There we go.
Wasui.
Okay. I was like, hold on, we had this conversation. So she goes there and she wants to fall in love with Kiyoya. And basically they're wanting to film this movie at the school, and Kyoya's like, hey, it's gonna be good money. And Renge's like, I'm gonna be your manager. She pops up in like all the episodes from here on out randomly just as their manager. And from now on, she'll always pop up on a cake spinning from the ground.
Yes, she does.
Go back down. And every time Haruhi's like, I thought this was a music room, or how does that contraption travel? Because you're like at a theme park and it happens
everywhere.
It's so
everywhere.
Funny. I love this running gag.
It's so stupid. I like to imagine that she has it installed everywhere they go.
Absolutely. The twins reveal that their mom is a fashion designer in this episode, which is really cool and makes sense in the next episode, the next 4 episodes when they're at the jungle theme park thing, because they have this line of bathing suits to choose from because their mother is a designer. So let's see. I went and pulled up more notes because this episode I didn't take a lot of notes. But so Renge's like trying to create all these backstories for everybody. And she's flirting with Kiyoya and calling her Prince Charming. And then they start doing this improv kind of like host club film. And they're using a real Hollywood director, and Renge calls for Haruhi to play a scene with her and 2 random Ouran students who Renge casts as the Yakuza, aka the Mafia. And she grabs the arm of one of them in order to direct him, and he like pushes her off, and it causes her to fall into a ladder, which begins to fall on her. And then Haruhi shoves her aside, and then they both fall to the ground. And then Tamaki sees it and is like, oh no, and he runs over, and it's like, when he sees Haruhi with like tears in her eyes, he goes off on the players, but then it turns out she's only crying because her contact popped out. But it's a really sweet moment where you see like Tamaki like defend Haruhi and like be the sweet himbo person that in love with her. And then Renge loves the little ad-libbing, and she's like, oh, we caught it. We don't need to rewrite this background because look at the love and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, like this whole scene's happening, you just see this hand holding a rock just slam into the camera lens and shatter it. And it's very jarring because you don't see it coming at all. And you're like, oh, and 1, it's keeping the secret of Tamaki and Haruhi, but 2, he says, I'm sorry, I can't have any footage of a host club member involved in an altercation be filmed. So this footage is gone. Also, that's like $1 million camera, but I mean, I guess it's Kiyoya, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, he can afford it.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and so when Renge asks why, he's acting so differently, Tamaki explains that her fantasy is not reality, and he's really sweet. Not. And then Haruhi pulls her aside and is like, you should just get to know people little by little as they are. And so it's a really sweet moment. And the next day in Music Room 3, shout out to Ouran.fandom, because this is where I pulled a bunch of notes because I didn't take enough notes. I know, I was really into it. But then they're watching Renge's film, and Kilia has been selling it to make money for the club, obviously. Renge tells them and says that she's staying in Japan because she now realizes who her true lover is. And it's Haruhi. And she drags Haruhi off to play together. And as this is my favorite quote from the fandom website, Tamaki has a conniption fit. Which is true. Tamaki is like, no, and they were like, well, you wanted her to have more girlfriends. He's like, yes, but not a girlfriend. So it was a great line, and that is that episode.
Good. I love everything about all of this. I don't have any notes. I just have voice actor for Renge. Her English voice actor is Monica Rao, who's Suyu Asui or Froppy in My Hero Academia, Veronica Desade in Keiseri Vanitas, Baluma in Dragon Ball Z, Riz Kamashiro in Tokyo Ghoul, Jun Shiomi in Food Wars, and Tsubaki Nakasukaza in Soul Eater. Oh my gosh, that was hard. Japanese voice actor is Kozu Yoshizui. And I wrote meh. They had nothing.
Meh.
Wow. I blasted through that one. Maybe we should just mess up our recording every week.
No.
And then I'll be great at saying names.
I wasted $12 paying for trying to get our recording back.
You were correct.
Hey, also, you need to cancel that one subscription that we still get emails for.
Yeah, I know.
Lauren, you've subscribed to it for almost a year now.
I know, it's bad. I'll do it.
Just switch that subscription to our Patreon.
I keep meaning to.
Anyway,
that's all I can say to that.
Next week we're going to cover episodes 5 through 8, right? We're doing 4 at a time?
Yes, 5 through 8.
So 5 is The Twins Fight, which is a great episode.
Love that episode.
6, the grade school host is the naughty type. Man, it's a cute episode. It reminds me way too much of Your Lie in April, and I don't enjoy that.
I forgot.
I was like, what is this?
It's sweet though.
It was a little
really
bit
sweet.
PTSD for me.
Okay.
7 is Jungle Pool SOS, which is a great episode, especially for Mori people like me. It also gives you some good character backgrounds on Honey and Mori, which you don't get a lot yet. And then 8, the one that I have like a page and a half notes on, is
the beach episode.
The Sun, the Sea, and the Host Club, which absolutely changes the tone of the show for a bit. I'm really excited to see where we go from there, because that was intense.
Oh, it's so good.
Anyway,
I'm so happy you like it.
I love this show.
I really underplayed how much I love this show whenever you rolled it, because I didn't want to trigger you. And
you're smart. You're smart on doing that. You're smart on doing that, because I really thoroughly enjoy.
It's so good. It's so good.
What is
Don't. There's a demon that's gonna pop out.
It's like,
why would you do this?
What is this that's lighting up and changing? See right in between my headphones. See,
looks like a window.
It is.
Or a picture.
I'm so dumb. It's my TV reflecting.
You
no, actually, it is my TV.
Oh my god!
It looked like that was too high, but that's my TV. I have Grey's Anatomy paused because it's just been on the whole time I've had COVID.
Well, with that being said,
we love anime,
and we love you.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Gateway Anime Podcast with Bridget and Lauren. Please remember to like, subscribe, and download our episodes. Remember, we also have a Patreon, so if you want to suggest shows for us to watch, make sure you go visit us. Special thank you to Marjorie McClendon for our artwork and designs, and Drew Griffith for all of our music. We hope to see you again next week.